Hi! This video is about vintage keyboards and how to recognize interesting ones by their features without learning model numbers by heart. As you can see, I've collected quite a lot in the recent past, and if you don't want to deal with obscure hipsters wanting to sell you their used Casio SK1 for 200 bucks, this video is for you. So let's get started. I'd like to start with keyboards which are not interesting. How to recognize crap, actually. Most children's toys from the last 20 years are just boring. Of course, they may produce interesting sounds for you to sample, and more or less everything sounds rather interesting with lots of reverb and distortion, but in general, models like this one are just playing back samples. You can barely circuit band them, and they don't have features that pair very well with other stuff, so rather forget it. This model actually lets you play back animal voices chromatically, which is okay, but I wouldn't buy it again or spend more than $5 on a local flea market. This Yamaha PSS9 may look fine and retro, but it is not too interesting either. It sounds quite nice for retro lo-fi stuff, but it is basically just a playback machine with PCM samples. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just boring compared to what I'm gonna show you. So avoid stuff which can't do anything besides playing back PCM samples. The first quality feature is actually synthesizer-like sound generation. This Casio MT400V has a filter section, an envelope generator, a chorus, reverb and vibrato. It is basically a synthesizer. And there are more keyboards with synth-like sound generators than you might think, even if this one is more on the expensive side of things. Take this Hinghon EK001 for example. It has a square wave sound generator and is perfect for circuit bending. And it is most certainly affordable. There are also lots of Yamaha models like this PSS 360 with real FM synthesis, even with just 2 operators. Whenever a keyboard has features we know from synthesizers, mostly on the oscillator side of things, you should be able to do a lot with it, so definitely recommend it. And there are even models like this Casio SA5 which don't have a synthesizer section, but the presets in this machine are grouped by tone features, so it's almost like a synthesizer. An effect section is also a good sign, and I'm not talking about vibrato. Whenever they have delay, reverb or chorus and you can input a sound source, then go for it. Another example would be the Casio MT100, which actually has an equalizer, which is pretty interesting for sound design. I'm not playing you back this one, but if you see it, very interesting.
Golf möglich dank einer Notfallzulassung von Sinopharm aus China. Auch andere Impfstoffe wurden großzügig eingekauft. Selbst Touristen könnten schon bald geimpft werden. Impf-Europameister Großbritannien kommt auf 41 Impfdosen pro 100 Einwohner.
Whenever you see a toy keyboard that has, for example, an integrated radio, a cassette player or something similar, then it should be worth a second look. This one, the CK10, is quite similar to the VL1 or VL Tone, which everybody knows from thhe. Unfortunately, it lacks the synthesizer capabilities of the VL1. But still, it's pretty interesting. I modified it so it's possible to play along with the radio, which was not possible before. And this machine has it all, the DJ1. It's quite similar to the famous Rapman. It has an effect section, it can play back cassettes, and it has really, really dope beats. Have a listen.
Give me a beat. Come on, y'all.
Give me a beat. Come on, y'all. Give me a beat.
Apart from that, you should also look at the age of what you are about to buy. These two models, this electronic organ, is from the 70s, the late 70s, and it has a purely analog sound engine. Same goes for this Bontempi MS-40. I mean, why go for an MS-20 when you can have an MS-40? And it sounds quite interesting because at this point everything was purely analog. If you want to dive more into that, I can recommend you the Table Hooters website, which is really amazing as it documents so many toy keyboards, very detailed, and the Toy Instruments book by Eric Schneider. Apart from that, thanks for watching. This kind of was my first video in here, so thank you. If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram. You can find me under the name of Flea Market Audio Stuff and blah blah blah. You know the rest, what everybody says on YouTube after finishing a video. Cheers!